Everyone, in this video I'm going to be doing some real-time mixed media with you. I am using February's Thompson's Craft Supplies Vintage Romance kit. Of course, as I always say, if you haven't seen the video share of that kit, I will link it, and I've already done 2 projects with it, which I will link as well. But I thought it's been a while since I've done any real-time videos, so let's do something a bit different rather than a scrapbook process or something. So yes, we're going to alter this frame. Because of drying time and things, I'm probably going to be filming this over the course of a few days, so any subtle lighting changes, nail colour changes, sleeve colour changes, all that kind of thing, just go with the flow on those. So yeah, first things first to do is to gesso this frame, but actually the actual first thing I'm going to do is just take out the glass, because it's just going to get in my way, really. I'm not going to need that, I'm not altering that, so I'm just going to keep this part kind of thing. You can do it if you want to do like the whole thing, if you want to do something to the back. Oh, what's that? A bit to the back or whatever. You can washi around the edges of the glass, but I think it's easier to do it this way. Although I am probably going to impale myself on the little doobrey hickeys that keeps the frame in. What are they called? I don't know what they're called. So yes, first thing to do is to gesso, and I've got the wrong gesso. I didn't want clear gesso. I want the heavy gesso, there we go. So I don't have too much of a plan for this frame. I've got a very rough idea in my head. I'm going to use mostly stuff from the kit, pretty much all of the chipboard pieces that I have left, and fussy cut pieces, and the flowers and the ribbon and all those lovely things. But I do think I'm going to keep it fairly simple overall. Now I will just say, you should probably, because this is quite like a shiny surface on the frame, you should probably like sand it or something first. Now I don't have ready access in my craft room to any sandpaper or whatever. I could easily probably go downstairs and get some, but I'm really lazy. Also sandpaper, the texture of it makes me gives me the bleh. So I'm just gonna instead do a couple of layers of gesso instead and hope that does the job, really. That's part of the reason I'm using heavy gesso, is because I think it's going to go on better and need fewer layers because of the fact that I am not sanding it. So I'm going to dry the first layer and then come back to you to do the second one. Okay, so that is the first layer dry-ish. Using the heat tool, you can see it's kind of made a little split in the wood there, but that is not going to be a problem because this bottom corner is where I'm planning of adding most of my like layers and chipboard and stuff, so I am not bothered about that whatsoever. So yes, I never know what to talk about when I'm doing something really mundane like this, like adding gesso, but in the past you guys have been really positive about real-time videos, and I hadn't done one since some point last year. I don't even remember how long ago it was, so yes. Ugh. Perhaps in the future I should like do some sort of Q&A situation so I have things to say during this time, but then at the same time I'm so bad at multitasking with crafts. I can multitask in other aspects of my life, but with crafts I am rubbish at it. So even now, just doing the edges of this thing, I'm like, must keep talking, but it's so hard. Okay, I think that is it for the second layer, so I'm going to dry this now. I think I'm going to try not to hold the heat gun too close to it this time to prevent any more of that happening, so let's see how it goes. Right, with that dry and my mat well and truly warped, I'm just going to add a little bit of crackle paste. This is the Ranger Texture Paste Opaque Crackle. I don't know why it's kind of yellow inside. I think once I got something yellowish in there and it kind of just discoloured the whole pot. So whoops, but oh well, these things happen. And it's also a lot thicker than it used to be. So maybe they just don't last very long, these ones. I don't know, but yeah, we will see how it goes. Maybe I'll just have to buy a new one. It's not exactly got loads left in it anyways, so yes, I'm just scraping this on in random places. The basic thing with crackle paste is where when you do it thicker you get some bigger crackles, and where you add a thin layer you get smaller crackles, really. Now I've also said this in the past, but some crackle pastes, so if you have a different brand or whatever, or if you're looking for one to buy and buy a cheaper one or just a different one. Some of them do not get on well with heat tools at all. The Ranger one does, but some of them, if you use a heat tool on them, they don't crackle. So you have to let them dry naturally. But thankfully, the Ranger one quite likes the heat tool. So let's see how this crackles. Okay, so we have got some nice crackles in there, and now I'm going to just try a little experiment and try and use a stencil on this. Now, might be a bit, what's the word? I don't know, ambitious or something. It may completely and utterly fail, but if it does, we'll just cover it up, so it doesn't matter. So this is a Tim Holtz collection stencil, just like a really fine damask one. I wanted to use something that had a delicate pattern, but was also like a small stencil that might work over this. I don't know. We will see. Maybe if I do it this way round. I'm wondering if I use the bigger thing. Yeah. So this is the Prima Art Extravagance paper texture paste, which is one of my new favourite things. I love it. And also, it really smells nice. It really does. So not only does it create a beautiful texture, it is lovely to work with, but it smells so good, and it smells even better when you get the heat tool on it. It's like a fruity smell. All right, so what have we got here? You can kind of see that pattern, can't you? Yeah, I think so. I might just calm it down where it's sticking up a little bit. Just take those little sticky up bits off, because that might be a bit too much. But yeah, it's not perfect, but I don't think it's awful either. So let's do a bit here as well. It is quite, the texture of this is like a really, really light whipped mousse kind of thing. So it is, I don't know, like the crackle paste is so thick, it's kind of easier to spread in this kind of situation, because this is more thin and whippy. Oh dear, see, I messed that one up, but oh well. You've kind of got an idea that there's some sort of pattern going on there, I think. Yeah, anyways, but maybe using a different medium would have been better, but as I said, I love me my paper paste. It's so nice. Okay, so that one kind of really messed up, and there's no pattern there whatsoever, but it's fine, because it just means we've got texture on the frame, and texture is always a good thing. So let's just do another bit down here, and I'm just sort of bending the stencil around so we don't just get it on the very top of the frame. Oh, careful. See, I'm getting worse as I go. Like the first one wasn't too bad, and now I'm just making an absolute mess. You know what? I'm just going to dab. Dab, 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 dab. That's better. I might as well do that now, seeing as I keep messing it up now. As I said, that bottom corner I think is where I'm going to put most of my embellishments and stuff, so I'm not going to bother putting too many things on there. I'm getting a bit not coping with all this stuff on my fingers now. As I said this to someone in a recent comment when they mentioned about how I was getting better with having stuff on my fingers. It's like, yeah, I am getting better, but it's still a struggle, especially once it starts getting a bit kind of dry and crackly. It's ugh. Anywho, let's dry this. Okay, so with that dry, or at least as dry as I can be bothered to make it right now, you can kind of see the pattern in places like there and there, but other places just like, nope, no pattern for you. So I am going to dig out my chipboard pieces. These are all like bits from the kit, all the little bits and pieces. There's pieces I've fussy cut here, but I mostly want chipboard right now. So let's get all of those out. We've got our keys. I don't know if I'm mostly wanting to make this more floral, so I'll probably use a couple of keys, but mostly I want these kind of leafy bits and the feathers, although I have used quite a lot of those already, more than I thought I had. It's fine, I've probably got some more chipboard lying around somewhere. So how are we going to have this? I think that would look super pretty up there, something coming maybe out there, and then if we do the two corners, maybe. And then I want to include this, but I can't quite get that on like that. That's not quite going to work, is it? It's not going to stay there. I'm actually wondering if I should use the feather at all or if it just kind of doesn't work. Which key can I include? If I put a key down there, maybe, and then just a leaf. Yeah, I think that can work. Oh, okay, no feathers today. 1 key, 2 keys. We can't have 2 keys. We either have 1 key or 3 keys. We may not have 2 keys because it would look wrong. That is too much. Maybe, I think that could work. That could work nicely. Okay, the question is if I'm going to put anything under the chipboard before I glue it on, or if I'm just going to, because obviously I'm going to paint it all in one, or should I paint it first? Oh, decisions. See, this is what you don't get in the in my normal videos, because I cut out me just sitting there and thinking to myself, or more occasionally talking to myself. So what a treat for you to get my decision-making process. Dear, right. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to paint it first. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so let's put these aside. Although I don't know if this is dry enough to paint yet. It would have been dry enough to glue things to it, but perhaps not enough to paint. Oh, okay, back to the heat tool. Right, so what I want to do for the main background colour is I do want to use this metallic Prima Art Alchemy that comes in the kit in Steampunk Copper, but I want it a little bit lighter, so I'm going to try mixing it with this Imagination Crafts Starlights and Metallic Antique Gold, which was from September last year's kit, I think. Yes, something like that. Anyways, this might not work. We'll see how it goes. So let's just put a bit more of that in there, and then a bit of this. Sorry, the brush is in my mouth because I need both of my hands, and then just come on, out you come. Oh, it's coming, it's coming. There we go. Right, how is this gonna go? I think basically it's just gonna make the copper color really shiny. So let's see. But it's a bit lighter. Yeah, okay, I like that a lot. I think I might want it even lighter in places. I don't know, but I can always lighten it up afterwards by just putting like the straight gold on it or something like that. Yes. Okay. Get down into there, into all those little grooves. I think actually this frame could probably look pretty cool just as the frame on its own. It's just like an art piece, so you don't have to put the photo backing and the glass bit back in again. I'm not decided yet, but I think it could look quite cool just on its own. But we'll see how it goes once I'm finished, or once I'm closer, much closer to finishing. So where there's stenciling done here, I'm going to stipple the paint, because when I brush over like this, you see it can't cover the sunken bits. That's not the correct word. You know what I mean. The lower bits of the stenciling. So yes, that's why I'm going to stipple, and that's going to cover all those areas. More paint required. I have to say, where I've used the heat tool and the corners have kind of cracked like this, I do really like that effect now. And that's what's making me lean towards using it just as like a frame decoration piece. It's kind of got that old, antique-y, maybe even slightly spooky vibe going on. Yeah, I do like that effect an awful lot. I do like happy little accidents, as the late great Bob Ross would call them, like this, where something you think was a mistake was not, because it turns out to be pretty awesome in the end. Yeah, those cracks look great, I think, anyway. Right, let's just see if there's any bits around the edge that I've missed. Okay, lovely. So back to the heat tool for drying. This is the one thing I don't like about mixed media, is firstly getting paint all over my hands, but mostly just all of the drying. It's just, but it is what it is. You can't do mixed media without it. Right, with paint dry, the last thing I'm going to do today is just glue some of these chipboard bits and pieces on. Some of the stenciling has got lost with the painting over it, as you can see, but what I'm going to do later on, hopefully if I remember, is go over it with, say, the wax or a darker paint or something, and that's going to sort of bring that stenciling back up again. So yes, let's just add these few bits and pieces onto there. As per usual, I'm going to be using my 3D gloss gel, which is my favourite thing, and don't worry that this is nearly empty, for I have a spare pot. Of course, I'm one of those people who honestly has nightmares about running out of things, and so I always make sure I have spares of all the things that I need and use and stuff. So yes, not a problem. I'm just gonna, some of those little diamantes are coming off. I'm just gonna try and attach those back on. There we go, that should do it. Right, leaves. Apologies for these sirens, by the way. I live opposite a police station, and that's what happens when you live opposite a police station. And sometimes because I'm so used to hearing them, I don't notice them sometimes. So if there's a siren and I'm talking over it or whatever, yeah, I'm sorry. I just, as I said, sometimes I just don't hear it because I'm so used to it. Now, what am I going to do about these diamantes and this key? Because I want to put this key there, but I don't want to completely cover those up. If I just put it slightly higher, that should be okay. Ugh. Okay, this is feeling a little bit precarious, but I think once everything is dry, because this stuff dries basically like cement, we'll be okay. So am I going to add anything? Yeah, I'm going to add a little leafy up here. Which way round do we think? That way, or, oh, I've got a message. That way or that way? Or should I add it down here to the bottom so it's coming out of, yeah, I think coming out of the ribbon, actually. That looks a lot nicer. Let's do that. So just pop that there. I'm probably going to have to turn the vibrate off on my phone, aren't I? Otherwise it's going to annoy you. I hate that sometimes, watching videos, like a voiceover or something. Like if someone's phone goes off once or twice, that's totally fine. But I was watching a scrapbook video the other day, and the person was doing a voiceover and their phone just, okay, I'm going to turn mine off. Hang on. Right, there we go. So yes, turned off. But yeah, this person's phone just went off constantly, and it wasn't even on vibrate. It was on ringer. So every couple of minutes it was like bleep, 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 or, you know, whatever tone they had. I'm like, can you just, I'm not even kidding. It must have gone off like 20 to 50 times during this voiceover, and it was doing my head in. It's really not, like, as I said, if it goes off a couple of times, that's fine. We're all human and whatnot, and phones go off, and as you know, mine was just going off. But oh dear, just, anyways, that's just a random little side rant there. So if you're making videos and it's a longer video, and if your phone is on loud, turn it on silent, please. Once or twice, fine. Constant beeping, really annoying. Anyways, right, am I going to stick anything else to this while I'm in this little stage, or are we just going to leave it at that? The flowers and stuff I'm going to add later on when everything is coloured and painted. So I think when it comes to, let me just see if I've got any metal embellishments I might like to throw on here. Okay, what have we got here? I found this little butterfly, which I think is super cute and would look super cute on here. What else? Mermaid, not quite appropriate. One sort of florally butterfly type things, but I think if I think that bigger one would look better down there, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think so. We've got a leaf, a lovely leaf. Would that look nice if I can make it go there or something? I am not sure. Oh, I think there would look nice. Yes, I think that looks nice. Okay, so we'll have a butterfly and a leaf, and then maybe something up here. We've got another little key, maybe. A lot of these are leftovers from previous Thompson's kits, and some of them are just random ones I've picked up along the way and stuff. I still keep meaning to use this one in something. It's a little door knocker. It's just fabulous. Right, what else have we got? We've got many keys. Oh, these scissors, I love those, but they're not really in keeping with the sort of florally butterfly theme I've got going on, so maybe not those. Look at this tiny little leaf. It is so cute. Can I include it? Can I put it there? Whoops. I want to include it, but also if I've got a butterfly here and a dragonfly up there, I need something else. I need a third something, but that looks too manufactured being down there, I think. So it needs to be like maybe on top of those. Oh, but then that looks a bit weird. Maybe if I put the butterfly up there and the little dragonfly there. Yes, I think that looks better. Yes, let's do that. Can we include the little, I don't think I can include the little leaf. If I put it there, it looks kind of weird. Oh, I'd better take the gel off before I put it back in the box. Okay, I think that'll do. We don't want to overdo it, do we? Okay, change of plan. What I'm going to do is add the dragonflies later on. So I'll put those in there. Add the butterfly now. So then when I paint this, then I can put the dragonflies on afterwards, and then I have like more control over like what they look like and stuff, and I don't have to worry about them getting lost. So all I need to do is add this little butterfly. Oh, I haven't put some of the metal ones away. I shall do that in a minute. There is basically no way of doing this without getting stuff on your hands, so just be prepared for that. Is that going to be enough? I might put a little bit more on actually. Just a smid, bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, that should do it. Right, you are going to live there, little butterfly. And yeah, so that's me done for the day. I'm going to let this dry. No, the leaf! I nearly forgot the leaf. See, all the things you get to miss when you're watching one of my normal sped up videos. You know what? I'll add that later on as well. Never mind. Right, okay, so that is it for today. And I will be back to you tomorrow when this is nice and dry for the next... I can't shut this flipping thing. Yes, back with you tomorrow for the next part of my little altered frame. Right then, it is the next morning. Everything is nice and dry and stuck on there. So I'm going to get going with the rest of it. So as it dried, you can see some white spots have appeared here around the acrylic paint, but I'll go back and sort those out later. Maybe when I just sort of highlight areas with the wax, that'll cover them up, but we will see. So for now, I'm just going to gesso all these bits that I've stuck on, just so there's a nice base to colour them with. And I'm probably, I'll just say it now, probably going to get gesso on areas I've already painted, but that's just the nature of these things. It's easy enough to cover up when the time comes. I'm just using normal gesso rather than heavy gesso because I don't know, it doesn't really need heavy gesso this particular stage. So yes, you can, if when doing metal objects, you can just keep the metal colour if you like it. I'm not going to go with that colour. I think I'm going to make the butterfly a pinkish colour, sort of a dark pink. We will see. This is going to be the hard bit here, doing the key without getting gesso on the ribbon here. But again, even if little bits get on it, I'm not too bothered. The whole thing with projects like this is they look better when they're a bit messy rather than completely neat. So this is a little bit tricky. I'm finding it eerily quiet in my craft room right now. Usually, obviously, I have music on, or I've got YouTube playing in the background, or what I'm doing mostly at the moment is listening to podcasts when I craft. Mostly, you know, like true crime podcasts. I love those so much. So yes, this is weird for me to not be like singing or listening intently to, you know, some information about some horrible grisly murder or something. So, oop, those are a bit delicate there, the ones that are sticking out from the frame, so aren't glued in any place. I'm just making sure I'm careful with those, because if I push too hard they may snap off. Okay, so those are pretty dry, so I'm going to colour the leafy parts with Nouveau Embellishment Mousse in Sea Spray Green, which is kind of quite a nice antique-y kind of green. So I'm just going to use my finger to do this. It's much easier than using any kind of utensil, I find. The only problem I have is obviously because I've got long nails, I usually end up with a fair bit of mousse under my nails, which can get annoying, but oh well, that's what happens. Probably going to need to do a couple of coats of this because I'm not really getting that colour with one layer there. And again, I'm being really careful with these leaves that are not completely stuck down to the frame. I think I'm a bit out of practice of doing any real-time stuff because I keep just not talking and then remembering, oh yeah, I need to keep talking. Bad me. Quite hard to get into that little crevice there. We've got some stuff on the ribbon, but that doesn't matter at all. Get down into this little leaf down there. Yes, we're definitely going to need 2 coats of this. It is a lovely colour though. It is that right kind of dark green that I think matches this whole colour scheme, antique-y, brassy, bronzy thing quite nicely. Right, that is the first layer done. I'm going to give that a chance to, doesn't really need to dry because it's almost dry straight away, but just to give it a chance to settle before I do any other layers. So we'll colour the key with the Aged Brass Metallics wax. This is the one that comes in the kit. I think I said before, I think it's the wax that comes in 2 colours. You either get the Aged Brass or the, I think it's a rose gold colour. You are quite fiddly, little key. There we go. And obviously that is going on the chipboard a lot better, but that's kind of because it's what it's made for. It's what it's designed to do. The embellishment mousse is more of a, well, kind of like a craft item, jack of all trades situation. It does many different things. Okay, I'm going to need to wipe that off. I'm starting to get a bit black about stuff on my fingers. Okay, now some ink of gold on the butterfly. I do think this is going to be a bit too much of a light pink, so I'm probably going to tone it down a bit with maybe the Aged Brass, or I do have a gold wax somewhere, which I think is a Cosmic Shimmer one, although that one has all these warnings all over the label, like don't use your fingers for this kind of thing, and like, oh, but I'm not very good at using anything else for wax, but it does have quite the smell to it, like a very powerful chemical smell, which makes you go, oh, maybe I shouldn't use my fingers, like before they start rotting away or something. Okay, again, that's going to need multiple coats. I don't like how light that is. It's got a little bit too girly for my taste, but we'll come back to that. Right, I'm going to go back over the leaves again with, can you open please? Thank you. With the green. I keep these on like this, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. I just read a tip online that they just stay fresher, for want of a better word, if you keep the foil on there. So that's why I do that. Whether it works or not, who knows, but might as well. Oh, that is much better. You can see how that's coming up as a stronger green now. At least I hope you can see. I can see. But who knows what the camera is picking up. I'm going to get to this awkward spot again. That'll do. I'm probably going to end up putting a flower or something there, so I don't know why I'm putting so much effort into trying to colour that really difficult spot. But, oh well, just in case I don't end up putting something there. I am now on my 3rd layer of green. I really am loving this colour. I do think, though, I'm going to have to add something else green, or just add touches of it on the frame, just so it's more tied in together, the whole thing, because at the moment they're looking a bit, well, you know, just a bit too different from the background. They stand out a little too much right now, though it is very pretty. Right, just put that there, and then again do my top one. Alright, so that's the green done. I don't think the key needs a 2nd layer of this. It's just figuring out what to do with this butterfly. If I put another layer of ink of gold on, see how that works. You see how this is different? It's kind of slightly squishier than this, but not nearly as squishy as this. It's the weirdest texture out of the 3. But yes, I'm also, it's not quite covering up the bits I've gessoed, so I think if I go in with another colour, maybe I'll use embellishment mousse instead of gold. Let's just give it a try and put some of this on. It won't hurt, and I can always cover it up, although I've probably got too much on my finger there. Let's just dab. So I'm dabbing the colour on with one finger and then blending it in with another one, because obviously I've got loads of the wax on my finger there and it might just look a bit blech. This is me just covering up a little area of gesso that's poking it through. Just everyone ignore that. I really don't know what to do about this butterfly. I am just not happy with it. I'll come back to it again. So I'm just going to add teensy pieces. I don't know why I keep putting the lid on this, because I keep going back to it. It's just habit, I suppose. I'm just going to add little touches of the aged brass to the leaves to tie them all in. I'm just going a teensy bit on my finger, just sort of putting it around the edges. Just a little hinty here and there, and then they just look like they match. Probably a bit too much there. Oh well. It just, yeah, matches the whole thing. a bit better like that, I think. Come on there. What I think I might do as well is just put the tiniest bit of the green on this key as well, just so we've got the whole same colour thing going on everywhere, and then it kind of just looks like the key is sort of aged and patinaed a teensy bit, and then yeah, it just doesn't stand out as much. Everything is more uniform and looks like it belongs in the same place. It just, sorry, I need to hold that up a second to get a look at what it, get a bit more on there. Is that enough? Yeah, I think that's better. Just, yeah, just tones it down a little bit. What happens if, let's just put some green on the butterfly, see how that, no, cannot, I think I'm going to have to paint the butterfly. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I've got a wax or a mousse that's going to work. I just don't know about that butterfly. Do not know. Right, what I'm going to do now is just use the wax to cover up some of these bits I've messed up. Although I've got the wax everywhere, so I'm worried I've got too much of the same colour. Let's see what mousses we've got to use. All right, I'm going to give it a go with embellishment mousse in fresh copper, as opposed to gone off copper. What a weird name. Sometimes these things have such weird names. I mean, fresh copper, really? It's not a vegetable. I have just got a brush because some of these bits are really spiky and it kind of hurts to put your finger on them. So yes, we're going to use the brush. Don't use a good brush. Use a rubbishy brush that you don't really care about. See, that adds quite a nice effect, doesn't it? Yes, I like that. I'm happy with that. I'm just really delicately, I'm not scooping it up. Just adding a teensy bit on this dodgy brush that should have been thrown away a long time ago, but is useful for things like this. And just stippling that over any areas where there's a bit of white gesso showing through. Oh, that is very spiky in places where the paper paste was. So yes, injury warning if you use the paper paste like I did. There's spiky things that can hurt you. Oh, I've just noticed a gap there. Just filled that in on the inside. Need some more white areas. There's some down there. I think adding this copper as well is adding a really nice like extra tinge to the frame. Makes it look more aged with like different colour layers, multiple colour layers going on and stuff. So I am also adding it in some areas where I don't need it to cover up the gesso, but just to kind of keep this theme going of the copper hints in areas to, as I said, make it look more aged and stuff. I am really struggling to keep talking. I can only apologise for that. I think it's because I'm trying quite hard to find the balance between staying on topic but also, I don't know, giving a bit of bants and stuff. I think as well for me, I don't like it when people go off topic all the time. Like the majority of the video isn't about what they're doing. Just like I like hearing about people and what's going on. And if it's like a scrapbook layout, hearing about the photo and what it means to them and that kind of thing. But it's just sometimes people really go off topic and I just don't care. I'm sorry if that makes me sound awful, but I don't. There's a well-known scrapbooker who I won't mention by name, but I had to stop watching her videos because like she'd do a scrapbook layout and not one word would be about what she's doing. She might like start saying, oh, I'm using this collection, but then just like tell a random story that has nothing to do with anything, not even the photo. I'm just like, no offense, love, but I don't really care. This is why I don't watch vlogs either. They just doesn't appeal to me. Although I like studio vlogs, seeing what people are doing creatively. But I'm just, you know, I've got my own life to worry about. I don't want to start thinking about someone else's to too much extent. I think that's enough of that. I need to wash that pretty quickly. But what are we going to do with this butterfly? It is just driving me mad. I suppose if I put those dragonflies on that I wanted to use, that might help me figure out what it is I want to do. But I was just going to keep those in the colour that they are because I just think it's a really nice colour. Put that there. Am I going to use this leaf as well is the question. If I put that there. I like to use this leaf because I think it's really pretty, but I don't know where I can put it that it's going to have enough of a base to stay safely there without being too easy to pop off. I just don't know. Unless I put it... Nah, that looks naff. Maybe I won't use it after all. So, what are we going to do about you, butterfly? Maybe I'm just going to put the brass all over it and then see how I feel about that. And then it's going to match, I suppose, the dragonflies as well. And I'll end up putting florals around it so it looks more like it's a feature, but it's not taking away too much or too much of the attention. Still getting a bit of gesso poking through. That is annoying. Ah! Forgot about those. I do think that's better. Yeah, no, I think it is. I think I'm going to do that and then maybe add some hints of pink or green to it later on. So I want to put these guys in, but I also want to use some of my pretty florals from the kit. How pretty are those? I love them so much. Where's the other one? I kind of want most of the, as I said ages ago, yesterday for me, most of the attention to be down in this corner and then just a little hinty up here. See, that's cute. I do kind of want to keep this simple. I don't want to completely overdo it. That's cute. Do we need, if I put another one up there, it might need a second. Oh, actually, maybe not. Oh, I'm quite liking that, actually. What do you think? I think I'm happy with that. I do have one more I can use. I think that doesn't look quite right there, does it? Can I add it there? No. There. Perhaps further up. Further up. Yes, I prefer that. All right, let's start gluing those in place. And then there won't be much to do after that. So it's not that long of a process. Some of my scrapbook ones have got on to like an hour, hour and a half. But I think with a smaller base to work on, there's not quite as much thinking required. So, ooh, careful, careful. Let's add this one. Again, using the gloss gel because I don't use anything else. I know a lot of mixed media people use hot glue gun, but I've probably said this before, I just do not get on with hot glue gun. It may be that I just have a not very good one, but whenever I use it, it just doesn't work. Things always come off and no, just don't like it at all. And I mean, it's got the advantage of drying quickly, but I just prefer this stuff. And as well, I've said in a previous video, I mean, it is about £10 or more for a pot like this, but I've had this for over a year and it is nearly empty, but over a year I think is pretty good going, isn't it? So just pull this little dragonfly dude up a smidge bit, flower there, flower there. Not sure if I'm going to manage to get that to balance. I know that's hiding a lot of the key and some of you will be upset by that, but you can still see hints of it poking out. And that's what I like. Oh, seagulls, noisy outside. For my regular viewers, yes, Cedric is still around. He still visits every day. He's just come back from wherever they go for the winter. South of France or something. They've all just returned in the past couple of weeks, and so we're getting knocks on the kitchen window again when Cedric is like, hello, I'm here for my lunch. He is a very greedy seagull. I'm wondering if I put like a phrase or something by that butterfly, because I'm sorry, I keep banging on about the butterfly, don't I? But right now it's just like there's no point to it. See, it's there, it's on its own. It looks a bit wrong, just wrong. I'm just going to put that dragonfly at an angle so it pokes out a little more. Right, that's better. Right, so those are all staying on there. I'm going to keep working, not wait for those to dry. When it comes to things like fabric and paper flowers and stuff, the gloss gel, it's not that it dries quicker, it just holds better in the short term. I just went and washed my hands and realised what a state my nails in. I apologise for that. I went to do them last night actually and then went, oh wait, there's no point in doing my nails before I do a load of mixed media. That would be silliness. Right, so I actually don't think I'm going to add a whole lot more to this. Don't think I'm going to colour the flowers, at least not much. I think they look really pretty as they are. I don't think they need anything. I'm going to leave the butterfly as is. I was experimenting with the idea of putting something like this on it, like just like a little chipboard word or something, but I just think it looks better simpler. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some gold highlights and add some pearls as well in a minute, just to add that nice little finishing touch. But just, yeah, just add a little bit of gold here and there, maybe a little bit on the pesky butterfly, and just, yeah, just little hinties here and there. I just maybe a teensy bit on the flowers. I need to be careful because obviously the glue gel is still drying, so I will admit part of my decision making was because my dear mother appeared and she went, "Oh, that's so lovely, don't add anything else to it." Okay, yes mum, always listen to your mum, she's always right. So yes, I'm just going to add a couple of gold hints just to give it that nice sparkly happy shininess. A couple of bits on the leaves, then add a few pearls, and I think that'll be it. Let's just check the box of pearls and see what we've got to use in here. Oh, we do have as well, where are they? Sorry if you can see the top of my head right now. If we add a few of those here and there, right, we'll add some of those. I've got these pearls, which I think are a nice colour to go with that. These are from Home Bargains, in case anyone's interested. Always check the wedding section of Home Bargains, because that's where they add, those have got silver on, that's not right. Those are where they put stuff like pearls and that, they don't put them in the craft section. Oh, I've got pearls running away. Right, craft knife required for this. Get my gel, add some of these, and I think that will be pretty much it. Although I might colour them just a smidge bit as well. Ugh. I've got no rhyme or reason as to where I'm adding these, by the way. I'm totally just making it up. Clearly, as I drop it. Come here, please. Let's put that up there and get a slightly smaller one. Oh, I'm going to have gel all over my hands, and I hate that. It's the worst thing for me, is anything that's going to be sticky on my hands. Blah, 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 blah. I think we need one buried in amongst all of this lot down here. Put one down in there, a slightly smaller one down in there. Oh, beep beep outside. There is a hair on that pearl. Ugh, gross. Probably one of mine anyway, but okay, what do we need to add there? Something, a couple more pearls, because the ones that are on there at the moment look a little bit out of place, don't you think? Just add a few. One to tuck that in there. Add another one in this butterfly area. I think another one in this bottom corner as well. Oh, so much gel on my finger. Tuck that down in there, and then there's just like the tiniest little hint of it. So you have got 3. Then add a couple of these little gems, not too many. Don't want to overdo it. I think I might even brass these up just a tidgy bit as well, these pearls. Why have I shut that? I still need that. Go. Alright, am I umming too much? I'm sorry if I'm umming too much. It's a bad habit. I'm aware of it. This is quite difficult because they're very small and fiddly, these ones. Oh, that's pretty. Put another one. This is my rubbishy craft knife, by the way. I have 3. I have a precision craft knife from, I think it was from Craftelier. It's not very good, actually. Yeah, I've got that one, which I rarely use. I've got this one, which is my sort of craft knife that I use for all sorts of things, like chipboard and pearls and sequins and just all of those kind of things. And then I've got that Dovecraft one, which has got a little handle on it, and that's what I use for when I'm doing more precise actual cutting with a craft knife type activities. Those ones that are in like one long adhesive strip, which is why I'm sort of hacking at them before I pick them up. One there. come here, please. Thank you. Put one there. All right, and then one up here. Just the one on this leaf. I've got too much gel on my thing. This leaf right there. Okay. One more jam. Oh, that's quite hard to pick up. There we go. So yes, I'm going to add a little bit of brassy wax. That's what it's called. That's what it's called now, brassy wax. And I'm just going to put a teeny bit on the pearls because just to tie them into the whole thing that I don't fully match right now. Just very carefully because obviously that gel is still wet. So it's interesting actually, in certain places it's almost like not dry, but it's solidified on there. In other places not so much. Get some on you down there. Then I'm just gonna get rid of that's on my fingers on here. Very professional, obviously. Oh no, I've knocked that pearl out of the way. Oh dear. I think all of that messing up is a sure sign that I need to finish up. Oh, decisions. Let's put one there and one directly on the butterfly. So I think I should put a little one there and medium one on the butterfly. There we go, that looks nice, apart from it's slightly unbalanced because there's two up there and we don't do things in twos, no, never. Right then, there we go. I think I'm finished. I'm not going to add any splatters or anything because I don't think it's needed at all. I think it's just going to add too much messiness that won't match it. So I know it's very shocking for me to not add splatters to a project, but evidence that it does happen very, very rarely. So yes, there we go. There is my frame. Once it is dry, I'm going to test it out with having the actual frame in it and then not having it in and just having it sort of on its own. And well, I suppose you'll see in the closing pictures what I decided to do about that. And if you're interested in pictures as well, like seeing them for longer than the 4 seconds that I do them at the end of the video, then head to the Thompson's Craft Supplies blog because then all the pictures will be up there too. So yes, okay. I am finished. Here is my frame. So thank you so much for watching. I will leave a link to the kit if you are interested, but it is very soon coming up time for the March kit as well. So I will have a video reveal share of that. Sorry, here I am just cleaning my hands in shot. So yes, I will have a video share of that. So look out for that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this real-time video. I have no idea how long it is, how much footage I've got. I suppose we will see. So yes, please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Chat to me in the comments. And yeah, okay, I'm going. Thanks so much again. Bye-bye.